Okay, I'm going to hit record here and get started. First of all, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. And if you're watching the replay later, thank you for spending some time with me tonight. I am sitting in sunny San Diego. I'm from Arizona, but it's like 120 degrees there, literally right now. I think it's somewhere between 115 and 120. So I got out just in time. And for the sake of my own mental health, it was important for me to get a break from that heat. If you live somewhere in a cold climate where you're cooped up all winter, that's basically me in the summer, but I have the rest of the year to be outside and all the things. So I can't complain too much. And we're blessed to be able to come to the beach. So, but I had kind of mentioned this, if you saw any of my posts personally, that in the fall of 2020, so not that long ago, my family and I went to the Florida beach for a night, and we actually, my boys, my husband and my two sons got caught in a riptide, and they almost died. It was a very traumatic night. They had to be rescued, spent the rest of the night in the hospital kind of situation. Physically, everyone was okay, but emotionally, wow, zers. It was insane. Just the impact of that situation. And so we did actually, yeah, actually, I'll never forget that text. That was a rough night. And actually, I sometimes actually have a hard time talking about it. It makes me cry still to this day, but I can finally talk about it. And I'm not going to talk about this kit tonight. We will do a class on this kit later. But we used the feelings, or sorry, not the feelings. It's called the Freedom Sleep and Freedom release collections for the 2 months after that, along with seeing a counselor, lots of talking, crying, sleeping in the same room, like a lot of things we did for our emotional health during that time. So anyway, I share all that to say that this is our first trip back to an ocean after that. And so while we have worked through a lot of the trauma of that experience, there's still a lot of big feelings this week that my family is dealing with. And so I thought it would be kind of appropriate to come and share with you guys specifically about the feelings kit. I'm also going to talk a little bit about another one called the Great Day Protocol. Okay, so I'm going to actually share my screen here. Just give me a second, because I have some slides to kind of go along with what we are talking about tonight. That way, yeah. Okay. Ash, is yours on mute? Yeah, it is. Okay. Sorry, it's popping up for some reason. All right. So
all looks good.
Yes. So tonight we're going to be talking about the feelings kit. But before we dive into that, I want to cover a couple other things. All right. So first of all, that was my story and why I'm kind of focusing on the feelings kit. You probably have your own story that is completely different, whether you're dealing with the stress of parenting, whether you're dealing with the stress of traveling. I peek down there, I see Miss Karen, who lives in a van, literally not down by the river. She lives all over the country in her van. If you've ever dealt with family drama, how about the last 2 years, all the things in our world that we've dealt with on a day-to-day basis that has just raised the stress levels in all of our lives in all sorts of ways, right? Whether you're worrying about someone or worrying about a situation, we deal with a lot of big feelings on the day-to-day. So let me slide here. Slide through my thing. Okay. So that's a whole lot of information about our feelings, or things we're dealing with. Kind of a downer. So I want to talk really quickly about tonight. We're going to be talking about using essential oils in dealing with emotions. I have to say, when I first learned about essential oils, I was like, okay, it makes sense that they would help your body to heal, because I mean, a lot of even big pharma stuff is based off of plant research and whatever. So to me, like, that made sense. But the emotional part took a little bit longer for me to understand and get, and where I wasn't like, that's a little woohoo weird. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the science and why it actually does work. Like, it's more than just an idea. It really physically interacts with your body. But you guys, I am specifically talking about Young Living's oils. There are a lot of oils out there in the world. And there's a lot of ways you can get your hands on essential oils, but the purity of your essential oils is really, really important and matters. Young Living offers what they call their seed to seal guarantee. They control the entire process of how these oils are made, and the level of quality is just unmatched. I have been to several of their farms. I've seen the process. I've talked to the farmers. I've talked to the people who weed. I mean, like, we're talking down to that level of care. And so when I'm talking about all of this tonight, I am talking about Young Living's oils. I'm not talking about something you can pick up, in a health food store. First time I ever went to a health food store to look at oils, the guy told me, "You're better off not buying them here," which I thought was kind of hilariously honest. He said, "Yeah, you're probably better off getting them from somewhere like Young Living," and I was like, "That's funny. I just ordered my starter kit and because I just ordered it and I had no clue anything about them." And so the guy at the grocery store told me, "Just wait for your kit to come in the mail. This stuff is not that great." Isn't that hilarious? Well, so anyhow, essential oils, this little slide here tells you a lot about them. If you want to read it, you can. All right, but I'm going to flip on up here. So we're going to be talking tonight about a few ways that you can use essential oils. We're going to be mostly talking about topical ways, but I am going to talk about the aromatic, and I'm going to dive in a little bit nerdily about the science of smell. All right. But first, before I go into the science side of it, I want you to take a second and think about, when you walk into a room and you smell fresh baked cookies, and all of a sudden, all you can think about is your grandma. Or think about when you're walking, down the street and you walk past some guy and he has a cologne on, and all of a sudden you're like, "I don't think I like him. He smells a little bit like my ex." Or, these little moments that we have in our life where a scent like triggers a memory or an emotion or a feeling. So I was a pastor for a long time. And one of the people that I worked with who did a lot of funerals for different families, one of the things he would do is ask the family for the person who had passed away for their a bottle of their cologne or perfume or whatever it was that they wore regularly. And they would actually spray that through the sanctuary or the place where they were holding the funeral, because he said it was amazing how people would walk in, or like ahead of time, he'd talk to people and people would just hold it together. Like they wouldn't cry. They would just like, "We got to get through this." But the second they smelled their loved ones, it was like such a release, such an emotional release. And I just thought that was amazing. I mean, this was just a pastor who was like, "You know what, I figured out that when people can smell the person that they love and that they miss, it just really helps them grieve. And it helps them have an emotional release." And that just stuck with me. And that was way before oils that I heard that and learned about that. And I just thought that was, I don't know, really moving, and a powerful example of how that sense of smell is connected to our hearts, really, when it comes down to it. So, okay, so now let's talk a little bit about like why, why does that happen? Like, what's the real story? Okay, so let's talk about the brain. In our brains, there's a part, it's called the limbic system. It's referred to as our emotional brain. So within your limbic system, there's something called your amygdala. Okay. This is where you process and store your emotions. Of our five senses, sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell, smell is the only one that activates the limbic system. And guess what smells amazing? Essential oils. Okay, I think you probably got that one. So we can diffuse or breathe our oils in to open up our amygdala and process our emotions in a healthy way. So let's talk about the chemistry of that really quick, you guys. Okay, so phenols clean and repair the damaged receptor sites of our cells. Receptor sites help our cells to know what to do. They keep our bodies functioning properly. So get this, negative or fear-based emotions damage the receptor sites on your cells. So just like a chemical toxin, like processed food, smoking, burning toxic candles, multiple chemicals in your beauty products, all that kind of stuff blocks the receptor sites in your body. So do fear-based emotions. So when those receptor sites are blocked, our cells don't get the information they need, and that is how disease can take hold in your body. So another quick little chemistry thing, sesquiterpenes. This is a property of essential oils. They bring oxygen to your brain. Therefore, that helps the emotion processing center of your brain to breathe and do the work. So there are so many benefits to breathing it in. So diffusing is an amazing way to affect that area of your brain. I mean, it really is. It's pretty cool. So I'd highly recommend diffusing all of the oils that we're talking about tonight, as well as using the, what I call the feelings ritual, just like a process that I'm going to talk to you guys about as well. Let me make sure I stick to my notes. Okay, yeah, so a little bit more about our feelings and our well-being being connected. So our thoughts become things. I'm learning a lot about this as I'm taking some classes all about thought work and like how our thoughts affect our emotions, how our emotions can reveal our thoughts, all this kind of stuff. So our thoughts become emotions. They reveal all of it. Which becomes actions and attitude. Our attitude becomes our reality, and all of our daily choices make up our lifestyle. And our lifestyle that, if you think about the American lifestyle, a lot of it leads to a lot of common diseases. And so we really have to be intentional when it comes to our thoughts and to our emotions. And this feelings kit is one way. It's one of the ways. There are so many ways to process our emotions, but this is so supportive of that I cannot help but be excited to share it with you guys, right? So let me see here if I have any more slides on that. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys some kind of cool, it's the emotion wheel, all right? So the first time I heard about the emotion wheel was actually from my friend Shannon, who has done a lot of counseling and different work, and I'm pretty sure she's okay with me sharing that because she talks about it pretty freely. But she, her counselor had given her this emotion wheel to help her name her emotions, because part of processing your emotions is to know what you're feeling. And one of the things she needed to learn was how to put an actual word to what she was feeling instead of everything being bad emotion or good emotion. She wanted to really pinpoint those emotions. And so she has this emotional wheel that she's always showing me and that we're always talking about. Well, this right here, I would take a screenshot of this. This kind of shows some of, okay. So if you'll notice, okay, so the 8 basic emotions: joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, anticipation, anger, and disgust. Okay, so this wheel of emotions, if you look, like for instance let's look at rage right here. So right across from rage is terror, fear, apprehension. So they sort of relate here. Let me move to the next slide to show you. The intensity of the emotions decrease as you move outward and increase as you move towards the wheel's center. Okay, so choosing emotions, opposing emotions are found directly across from one another. So loathing versus admiration, right? So these ones right here. So loathing, admiration, disgust, trust, boredom, acceptance. So you can kind of see that's how the wheel works, all right? Fear, anger, all of that. So I just thought that was a really cool thing. And I because I'm so interested in this feelings wheel, I was kind of looking around, and I found a wheel with scripture on it, which I thought was amazing, because I'm always, if you think your thoughts become things, like you want to put good thoughts in, right? And scripture is full of amazing good things to think about. And so this wheel right here just really inspired me. And so I wanted to share it tonight along with those other slides, because scripture is a wonderful place to go to get to find truth and solid, good thoughts. Ashley's going to pop a link in the chat if you want to know where to get this little wheel, which I think is pretty cool. Okay. So along the lines of that, okay. I'm going to kind of go through a few slides here, and I'm just going to read off the different oils that they recommend for balancing your natural feelings to create a sense of well-being. All right. So for joy or sadness, these are the oils they recommend. For joy, serenity, peace and calming. For joy, magnify your purpose, ecstasy, awaken. So those are some oils to kind of help bring about some of those feelings. Sadness, Exodus 2, joy or orange, white angelica or present time for grief. So I love that. Go through trust or disgust. So for admiration, the oil gratitude. For trust, copaiba, forgiveness or harmony. Acceptance, the oil acceptance. Boredom, celery seed or grounding. I use a lot of grounding. I think I get bored easily because I'm always drawn to that oil. Disgust, Australian blue. Loathing, frankincense. All right. Fear or anger. Some of the, for apprehension, valor. For fear, myrrh or rutavala. Terror, sacred sandalwood or helichrysum. Okay. Anger, cinnamon bark. Annoyance, cinnamon bark. Anger, dill or purification. Rage, trauma life or gathering. Okay. Anticipation or surprise, which is so interesting that those two are opposing each other on the wheel, right? Very interesting. We've always told our kids that when they're feeling like nervous anticipation for something, that really it's excitement. Like it's the exact same feeling in your body. So kind of interesting. So anyway, there's the oils for that one. All right, so I want to talk you guys through the feelings collection specifically now. And let me pop it off of screen share. Okay, so the feelings kit comes in this little purple box here. If you know me, I like to make things look cute, and this is lovely, but it's not cute. And so I have my little handy dandy case here, which I love. This is from Young Living too, this little case. You can buy it on the website. And I have in here the whole first row is the feelings kit. I have the Great Day Protocol, which I will talk about at the end. And then I have a bunch of other oils that are kind of some of my go-tos for just emotional stuff. And so I'll show you some of those at the end, but for now, I'm going to pull out the different oils in the feelings kit, and I'm going to share with you how to use them specifically. If you use this protocol for 30 days, it will impact your emotions immensely in a positive way. So if that's something you're interested in, this kit does sell for, let's see, I wrote down the price. It's $203.25. Right now on the website, it's showing as like an error when you click on the product, but you can call Young Living to order it. It is for sale. It's not out of stock or anything. And the other thing that's kind of cool is if you're in Young Living and you are ordering monthly through their rewards program and earning points, you can save up your points and buy this feelings kit. So I think that's the first time I bought it. I did that because I wasn't really sure about it. And so I didn't want to spend real money. So I saved up my points so that I could buy it. So anyway, I just wanted to mention a couple of those things at the beginning. So, okay, so this protocol, there's a couple parts of it that you might laugh at me, but I'm going to tell you, I did not make this up. This is Gary Young created this protocol, and he actually spoke about it for the first time in 2008 at the Young Living European Convention in Vienna, Austria. So that's the first time that he shared about the feelings kit and presented this information and this specific protocol. And I actually have this protocol on a link, which Ashley will drop into the comments at some point. So you can print this off yourself and read it and go through it and have it handy if you would like. So the first thing is Valor. Okay, so Valor, we call this our courage in a bottle at our house. We've used it for years for lots of things for my kids when it comes to big emotions. So, but as part of this protocol, you would put Valor on the soles of both feet at nighttime. It does say you can pair it with Highest Potential, which is another oil. So because we're all here together, I am taking my flip-flops off and I'm going to put them on because might as well. So I'm going to put a little on my feet. So Valor balances and equalizes the body's energy. Therefore, it increases oxygen intake to your pineal gland and the seat, which is the seat of your higher intelligence and your intuitive faculties. Okay. So if you put this on at night, on your feet, which I'm still putting it on my feet, it smells so good. You're going to wake up feeling pretty good. Let's just say that. You might even have a really restful night of sleep, to be honest. And it's been known to stop snoring. Just got to throw that in there. All right. So do that at bedtime. You could do it again in the morning too, honestly. It's just such a wonderful, oh my gosh, it smells so good, you guys. Sorry, I'm having a moment. Oh, okay. So the next oil in the feelings kit is Harmony. And Harmony, you can put it on, they call them the energy points of your body. So like along your spine is a bunch of them, over your heart, where your neck meets your shoulders in the back, the hollow at the base of your skull. You can put it on your forehead. Okay, so there's a lot of places you could put it, but for this, I like to put it on the crown of my head. And so I just take and drop, I just drop a drop or two because I never know what's going on up there. And then I just rub it through my hair. Okay, so this balances your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, all right, which in turn gives you progressively like more creativity, feelings of confidence, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it calms your butt down. I don't know how else to say it. It does. It's awesome. Okay, so Harmony. All right. The next oil is Forgiveness. Okay, so Forgiveness, you're going to apply on your navel. Oh, Elisa, you unmuted. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put a drop over my navel. I'm not going to show you my belly button. Sorry, guys. Feels too weird. But you're supposed to take your right hand and go clockwise several times. And while you're doing this, the idea is to think of situations where you need to forgive either yourself or others. Sometimes it's ourself that we need to be the most forgiving to. Sometimes we can be kind of mean to ourselves in our thoughts. And so taking a few minutes to maybe change your thoughts, to give yourself a little grace, to look at life with curiosity instead of feeling so down on ourselves, you know, like be like, why did I react that way instead of, you shouldn't have reacted that way, right? The difference. So forgiveness is for our own benefit, even if you're trying to forgive other people in your life for things. Ultimately, forgiveness, lack of forgiveness doesn't make the other person sick. That's an emotion we're feeling and it affects us. And so this forgiveness oil on your belly, I mean, it's a centering thing to be rubbing your tummy while you're putting that oil on. I mean, honestly, it is. So forgiveness. All right. Really, really good. Okay. The next one is release. Release. I've heard a lot of people talk about using release and how powerful it has been on them. Kind of crazy, actually. So if you think about, I talked about a little bit about this earlier. Oh no, maybe I didn't say this earlier, but a lot of our emotions get stored in our bodies. Okay. And I think a lot of people know anger is stored in the liver. I've heard that like my whole life, people saying that, right? So anger is stored in your liver and your gallbladder. Worry is stored in your stomach. Grief is stored in the lungs. If you've ever experienced really intense grief and you feel like you can't get a breath, I've felt that, right? Stress is stored in your heart. If you think about when you're stressed and your heart starts beating really fast, I mean, there's just so many things, like people under major stress have heart issues, right? So things get stored in our body. So release is wonderful for putting over your liver, and helps release a lot of negative emotions. Okay. So negative energy goes into your blood, then it goes into your liver for cleansing. And then sometimes those toxins can get trapped, right? So I'm putting it over my liver. At least I think that's my liver. Maybe it's over here. So a lot of times liver becomes a storage place for anger, resentment, bitterness, hatred, jealousy, envy, addictions, and a host of destructive feelings. So applying release over the liver area, drink a lot of water, consider even doing a full-on liver cleanse at some point, even if that's an emotion that's real strong in your life. But release over your liver, okay? The next one is present time. I love this oil. I actually pulled this one out first thing this morning and put it on because it's real easy to feel distracted the first or second day of a vacation because you're still transitioning from where you were to where you are. So that was a big one for me, because a lot of times we either get stuck in the past or we're worrying about the future. And sometimes we really need to just focus on being present where we are, giving the people in our world our full attention, just being present, right? Like, and when you're present, you're more aware of things. You're not missing out on what's happening around you. So present time, you take that and put 3 drops in your hand, okay? 1, 2, 3. And then you're supposed to kind of rub them together clockwise. And then you're supposed to put it to over your thymus, right? Where's that? Okay, so if you go down here, like where that little hole is in your neck, and you put 3 fingers under it, right below that, that's where your thymus is, okay? Girls, it's kind of like, you know, between your boobs. All right, sorry dudes. That's where it is, your thymus, all right? So put that over your thymus area right there. Besides, I mean, it just helps you stay focused, and that's a great place to put it. Okay, so the last part of the feelings kit and protocol is inner child. And this one, you're gonna probably laugh at me, but there's a reason for what I'm about to do, okay? First of all, okay, think about when you were a kid and you had all this like inner freedom. I mean, like, but maybe before the first time someone told you that something wasn't supposed to be a certain way, but you just felt so much freedom. I mean, I know not every kid has a perfect childhood, but there's a point where you can probably remember where you still had so much innocence, right? That feeling of being your true, like playful, happy, most honest version of yourself. That's the idea behind this oil. Finding that your true self. Not the false self, not the self that's defensive or, I don't know, defensive is the biggest word that comes to mind for me. You probably have other words that come to mind for you. So inner child. So, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. There's a reason, I'll explain it in a minute, okay? So you take a drop, put it on your thumb. Okay, put it on the roof of your mouth. Now watch me, I'm standing up for a reason, okay? You're supposed to walk backwards. Okay, you're probably supposed to walk backwards longer than that. First of all, it tastes good. Now let me tell you why I did that. There's a reason. Not because I'm crazy, maybe a little. We're supposed to be avoiding the crazy, right? Okay. Putting it on the top of your mouth opens up the cranial sutures and stimulates your pineal gland, your pituitary, and other areas of your emotional brain that occupy the space just above the roof of your mouth. Walking backwards as you do this, while your thumb is in your mouth, might look stupid, but it changes the rotation in your pelvis. It elongates your spine, decompresses the discs in your back, and as a result, you can clear the nerve channels in your body where the energy can flow smoothly throughout your body. So if you've ever had a chiropractic adjustment and felt amazing afterwards, well, just stick your tongue or your thumb to the roof of your mouth and walk backwards, and it's going to give you some of the same benefits. All right, so that's the last one in this protocol, the craziest one, but so good. Now, using this protocol every day for 30 days, first of all, you're going to smell amazing, and people are going to ask you about it because they're going to wonder, why are you so happy and why do you smell so good? So I cannot say enough good about this feelings, specifically this protocol. But honestly, you don't even have to use them that way. Just use them, get them on your body, and you will be so happy that you did. All right. So, okay. I wanted to, let's see, I want to flip back to sharing my screen here. Hold on, hold please. Here we go. Okay, that's the feelings kit. All right, so if you've been in Young Living for a while and maybe you don't have the feelings kit yet, but you have some of the oils from your starter kit, there's another quick little protocol that I want to mention, and it's just taking lavender, frankincense, and stress away. Put them in the palm of your hands, rub them together, scent tent. That is just a really easy one to help you also with some letting go of negative emotions. So that's just a little quick thing on that. I wanted to show this protocol to you because they actually just put this on sale today. And so that's amazing. And this is called the Gary's Great Day Protocol. So the feelings kit, that's 6 oils. It's a lot, right? And that's good and definitely wonderful to try for 30 days. But if you just want like a quick 4-step out the door every day, this is another great option. And it covers a lot of the same types of things. It really just helps you have a great day every day. And once again, you're going to smell amazing. So for this one, you take Valor and you put it on your wrists and you hold your wrists together. And after you do that for like probably 20 or 30 seconds, you'll start to feel like really peaceful because there's just something about it. Like maybe it's even just the fact that you're sitting still for 20 seconds, right? But it's just this sort of like, this feeling. That's the best way I can describe it. Now, Harmony, which was in the other kit, is a part of this one. And this one, they say to take and put it over your belly button for this one. So that belly button, I'm telling you, that's a great way to get oils into your body. All right. And then Joy, taking Joy and putting it over your heart is wonderful. That's by itself alone is wonderful. And then the last is to take White Angelica, put a couple drops in your hands, rub them together, and then you just sort of like put it on like a shield is kind of how they describe it. And you guys, this is just a beautiful protocol. And they're selling it right now. It's all 5 mils in a little kit. It's like ready to go, easy to throw in your purse. And so I just had to mention that, even though we were doing a feelings kit class, because they just today dropped that for being on sale. I wanted to mention a couple bonus resources for you guys. So these are a couple books that I would recommend. Releasing Emotions with Emotional, sorry, my thing's like in the way, Patterns with Essential Oils. And then the Aroma Freedom Technique, which is using those oils that I just mentioned from the starter kit. And we'll probably have to do another education just on that because it's that in itself is such an amazing protocol. The other thing is, and Ashley will drop the link for this in there, is so if your thoughts become things and you're looking for good thoughts, I found this really cool set of affirmation cards that has scripture linked to an affirmation with an oil recommendation. And I don't know, it's just kind of cool to like go through the deck, grab one every day. There's like 32 of them and work your way through that set of good thoughts when you're trying to put good things in. So I wanted to make sure I recommended that as well. Yeah, I think that is the end of the things I was going to make sure you all knew about. So I'm glad you guys came tonight. I do hope that you consider using the feelings kit because I feel like it would really make such an impact, especially if you're dealing with some emotional things and you just need a little support. Now, if you're already in Young Living, very easy for you to just hop into your account, add it to your next order. Like I said, for some reason it's showing as an error on the website, and I called them tonight and they said they're working on fixing it. So it might take them a couple of days, but if you're not yet a customer in Young Living, though, reach out to whoever invited you to this class or sent you the link to the replay and have them help you set up your own free account and get this set ordered and into your home, because it will make such an impact. And you guys, I got to tell you, as a mom, sometimes my kids don't want me to put oils on them, but sometimes I put them all over me and then I hug my children and they get the benefits regardless. Or maybe it's your husband you need to be hugging, or maybe it's a coworker who you just need to like waft your air near them, right? Like there's so many people around us who could also benefit from just what the goodness that we're putting on our own bodies. So I always love to just throw that in there. So, okay, Ash, did I miss any big questions? I could not focus on the chat at all. Are we good on the chat?
I think we're pretty good. Jamie, no, Paige, just she had one question, and it was just, do you notice that it makes your hair oily, especially for people, like when you put oils on your head, especially for people with thin and fine hair? And I answered in the chat, but I don't know if she saw it. No, it does not make your hair oily, because these oils aren't oil based, like they're not fatty based.
Yeah, it's not like a cooking oil.
Yeah.
They evaporate pretty quickly, and honestly, I put oils in my hair all the time because it's like a walking diffuser. It's like,
yeah, especially like down here. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. I put oils all through my hair just so I can smell them all day long. And no, it does not make my hair greasy at all. And you know what? Okay, is Lauren able to talk?
I know I asked her and she hasn't responded, but let's see. Lauren, can you talk? Or
I kind of want Lauren to share her story. I kind of want you to share your story if you don't mind. Show your
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, let me grab the crying baby and tell you the story.
The baby is an integral part of the story, so
yeah. So hopefully the dog will not bark too much while I try to tell you the story as well. But yeah, so the Feelings Kit, Jamie, like you, I used my loyalty points to purchase it.
Yep.
When I first found out that I was pregnant. Well, actually, you know what? I did not know that I was pregnant yet, but Inner Child was an oil that I wanted to start using. I just kind of got this like feeling. I had never tried it before. And I was like, I really want Inner Child, but if I'm going to get it, I'll just get the Feelings Kit because it's part of it. And so I cashed in my points, and literally like the week that the kit got to my house, I found out I was pregnant. And I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. Like, thank you, God. You know, love when he gives those little winks. So I started using it all throughout my pregnancy, and just helped me really, like, I mean, obviously anyone who's ever had kids knows that big feelings come along with that transition. And yeah, the day that I went into labor, I used the Feelings Kit and I recorded myself using it and created like a reel for my Instagram account. Yeah. And Ashley says to this day that she saw me post it and she's like, she's having our baby tonight. And sure enough, I went into labor that night. So in a way, I kind of say that the Feelings Kit helped him come into the world. Inside. He's not in the best mood today. Aww. He's normally a very happy baby. But,
he needs a little piece
maybe he needs the Feelings Kit tonight. Yeah. But yeah, that's my story.
I love that.
It's about time for me to buy another one because I've almost used up all the oils in it. So
yeah.
Thanks for letting me share though.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. I love that. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Ashley teaches about peaceful birth and things like that. And if you think like all the emotions that you're not avoiding or trying to suppress, but instead you're just feeling them and letting them flow through you, like what the peace that brings into your life is just really amazing. And the fact that God made these oils for, I mean, you know, like he made plants and nature and things like that to help us as these mere humans walking around the world and trying to figure out how to navigate all the big feels. So I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for this protocol that Gary put together. And that's available for all of us. It's a huge blessing. So thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I just love seeing your beautiful faces. Like I said, there will be a replay of this available. So we'll make sure and get that in all the places so that you can share it and rewatch it if you need to and all that. So, mwah, thank you guys so much.